Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. I thought tonight we could do another shadow reading. Mostly because I'm watching Stranger Things and I want to use the Stranger Things deck. But I don't want to only use that because I read from the book and I like to channel. So let's go ahead and I don't know why, but I like the first two seasons the most. I don't know why. I don't like the fourth season, and I love the finale, but not really the whole fifth season. I don't think Nancy got enough love, honestly. If you haven't watched Stranger Things, what are you doing? You should watch it. It's a good show. Anywho, in all of history, it was never the good guys banning the books. Right? I think we know that now. Some of us. Okay. Hey. I got a lot of work done today. Hooray. I also just decided what crafting we're going to be doing at the teen center. I'll still check in with the kids if there's something they really want to do, but we have Renewal and Spark coming out, so that's a good sign. Pick up on the energy. Was there one that flipped around? Nope, I guess not. Okay, we have Renewal, Spark, Celebration, Gifts, and Abundance. A lot of hand energy. What are you using your hands for? We have 4 different cards with hands present, which is not a usual occurrence. She's holding the sparklers. This one's holding their hand open with this big light. Receiving and open. So being open to receive some sort of offer with the Venus, with the hands. So it feels like this is good energy. I wasn't expecting this. So yay. It feels like, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and put the shadow work away if we're okay. We do have decisions here though. Wish fulfillment, freedom, leap, opportunities. Damn, this is a good reading. I wasn't expecting that. The collective energy is a little, it's a lot of things, and not really this. So that's exciting. So you're sticking true to you. Oh, here's, okay, I'm gonna bring it back. Here we go. So, okay, we have ego, vanity, and pride, and facade and beliefs coming out, and we have decisions. But we have, okay, so we have renewal, spark, freedom, leap, opportunities, decisions. We have wish fulfillment. So we're making a decision about our wish fulfillment, and trust me, we can sabotage that for ourselves. We can choose the wrong thing. Not the wrong thing, because life is a choose your own adventure, you have free will, but you can choose things that are not as aligned, or they have more lessons, right? So if you're really seeking this freedom and opportunities, and we do have opportunities and offers, celebration, gifts, abundance, receive, and open. Again, all of this is hand energy. So it feels like there's some sort of decision or action you're taking with your hands, perhaps signing. Ooh, we are coming up on Mercury retrograde. I think we're in the pre-shadow period. All 3 Mercury retrogrades, there's 3 a year, and all 3 this year are going to be in the water signs. So this first one is in Pisces season, the second is in Cancer season, and the third will be in Scorpio in the fall. Cancer is June to July. So that's going to be really intense, because water energy forces us to ride the wave of our emotions, right? So if there are things like this vanity, pride, and facade. These Mercury retrogrades are going to be forcing you to, well, I mean, again, you have free will, but the energy is going to make it very uncomfortable to be fake. There's going to be a very large push towards authenticity for yourself. And that's what this is about too. This receiving. So anyway, what I was going to say before I went on the Mercury retrograde tangent was like maybe you're signing a contract, maybe whatever you're doing with your hands. Maybe you're learning ASL. I'm kind of in that process. Maybe you're creating something. Maybe your hands are, I don't know. Pay attention to your hands. My hands are very dry right now. I have like this crusty thing because I've been washing them a lot with what I've been doing. Can you see that? It really hurts. So I haven't really been wearing my rings a lot. So I don't know. Maybe just focus on your hands. I did paint my nails today. Maybe you did that too. Or well, I don't know if people really paint their nails anymore, but I still do. We do have autumn and harvest. So again, about all of this, it's this energy of, you know, autumn and harvest. We get to decide. Life is a choose your own adventure. Are you going to choose to stay in your ego and wearing a mask, or are you going to choose to go after your freedom, your opportunities, your wish fulfillment, acknowledging your harvest? What have you been working on? How are you calling that in, right? Again, what have you made with your hands? Anywho, oh, we do have the shadow side, moon and dark night at the bottom of the deck. Remember that the dark night of the soul is not a one-time event. It's not a fun night out. It is a grueling process in which you take inventory, you go through your ego deaths, you drop the facade and beliefs. And I'm going to pull a few of these energies to get a little bit more of a pinpoint on what it is that we can focus on within our shadow. I think right now in these times, people are siding with evil, okay? People are siding with evil. And so that's a part of their shadow work that will probably not get done in this lifetime, but they will have to come back. I believe in reincarnation. I believe in karmic retribution. Those are my beliefs. You do not need to have those, but I do know that the Akashic records are for realsies, which kind of speaks to the other two. My understanding of spirituality is a lot of different cultural understandings. I've studied world religions and cults, a lot of phenomenology, things like this, psychology, human psychology. Because I think it's interesting the way that humans have to rely on something else. And I think that's, you know, the powers that be know that, which is why it's so culty around here. I've survived a cult. I was in a cult postpartum, well, pregnancy and postpartum. The Free Birth Society was a cult. You don't know it until you're in it. You don't really know what you're in. Being in a cult is scary. But I think the thing about cults is a very egocentric way of thinking about the world, in which when you're a part of an in-group, that makes everyone else part of an out-group. This is an interesting topic that's coming up. Well, I think it's because collectively this is what the shadow of the collective is right now, is this acknowledgement of cult, the occult as well, right? But really much groups of people. I'm a little bit heinous in my language, so groups of people circle jerking themselves and making each other feel better because they're part of that in-group. They all have the same beliefs. So they're siding with violence, with evil, with pedophilia, with war and genocide, and they're doing so out of a space of ego, right? It's disgusting, but that's what, you know. So, you know, where are you on that spectrum of evil cultist or like revolutionary humanitarian, right? Where are you on that spectrum? Because ultimately it is about those two counters, right? Like there's only good and bad. And I mean, there's everything in between as well, but ultimately each decision you make aligns more with one or the other, right? So okay, I'll stop. All right, so we have rejection. Through the sting of being left out, we discover our own inner worth, which left out of groupthink can be a really good thing. Ego, beyond the facade of ego lies the depth of true character and shame. Embrace your flaws, they are part of your unique story. And I think that speaks to a lot of what I was just saying. Cult energy very much shames people, doesn't support them, calls them out, it others them, right? There's an othering. And so are you part of a group of people that others? Now, I think othering can happen on both sides or all sides. That's human nature, I think, to a certain extent, is othering. But it's definitely, like expounded by society. Is that the right word? Decisions just fell on the floor. What did I say? Expounded. I'm not offline, bitch. You're offline. Present and explain a theory systematically or in detail. I don't even remember where I used that word, so okay. Ego came out twice. Do not take ego advice from Freud. He was a fucking pedophile too. Sick fuck. I mean, he used psychology. I wrote about, well, I didn't really write about this in my thesis, but I researched it when I was doing my master's work because I was trying to debunk the DSM, the big book that they diagnose people with. And so I did a lot of, I mean, I looked at Freud because Freud was, but just remember, all of this shit is human made. And I'm pretty sure Freud was also a Zionist. Let me double check. When was he alive? Was Freud... no, not fried, bitch. If you're gonna be smarter than me, then be smarter than me. I know Albert Einstein wasn't a Zionist. I'm pretty sure Freud was a Zionist. Oh, maybe he wasn't. Sigmund Freud was not a fan of the Zionist dream, but the good doctor was in fact vehemently against the foundation of a... Oh, interesting. Oh, it's coming from a Israeli point of view. Oh no, Freud was an early anti-Zionist, but later modified his view when Nazi persecution of European Jews. Either way, his whole theory about, ego, id, and super ego. No, but I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I think with the introduction of AI, like my spell check doesn't work anymore. And there's other things that aren't working, like the autocorrect just, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so The Ego and the Id was published in 1923. Outlines the structural model of the psyche, dividing it into the id, ego, and superego. I don't agree with Freud because I don't agree with his theories, especially about children and their parents. I think that's rooted in pedophilia. And just like overly sexualized, which grosses me out, which is pedophilia. But anyway, that was a fun side tangent. The ego is how we got there. So the ego is what tells you You know, the ego seems to be this like good thing, but honestly, it makes people it's like a protective layer, right? It's like the ego is like what you present. Oh, I'm getting like the three, your rising, moon sign, and your sun sign of your natal chart. Your ego is like your rising sign, which is what the world sees of you. Or maybe that's your sun sign. I don't know. Either way, there's like a distinction made of like you present this to the world, but it's not necessarily who you are or what you do behind closed doors, right? It's a character per se. And so it's like this protective layer. So the thing that's dangerous with the ego is that sometimes people can get like alter egos. You know that saying alter ego? So like Beyonce talks about hers, but Beyonce is fucking insane. I've never liked her. I don't like any Hollywood. But anyway, David Bowie had an alter ego, right? I think a lot of, unfortunately, the example I'm getting mostly is celebrities. Quite the time to use those. But I think the alter ego is, it's like this character. It's this persona that people put on. And we all have egos, but the thing that's dangerous about the ego is when we put ourselves above others within that false reality that we ourselves have started to believe that's who we are, right? So the facade and beliefs about yourself and the ego, be very careful, right? The only way to dissolve your ego is to integrate it, is to acknowledge your shadow. And then you won't need an ego because you'll be in your authenticity. You won't feel the need to, that doesn't necessarily mean, I'm in my authenticity, but I'm also at home most of the time. When I go out in the world, I'm not like a fake person, but I do, I don't know, you have to like interact with people, right? But I am very different than most of the population, in which we stay home most of the time. So who are you when you're at work? Who are you when you're at the bar? Who are you at when you're at the gym? Are you the same person, or do you wear these different faces for different spaces? And if you do, then kind of check into why you do that, right? Like, why are you hiding? The ego, shame, and rejection. Do you feel like you'll be rejected? Have you been shamed for who you are? Those are the shadow aspects that came out. And just kind of ask yourself those questions. I have tons of playlists that can help you with introspection questions. I didn't realize I've been running my mouth. Let's get a couple from the Upside Down. Oh my god, I love this. It's so cute when they go to the dance. 10 of Scoops and 4 of Scoops. Scoops is earth energy. We have the Magician, 10 of Strands, and 9 of Dice. Earth energy, fire energy, air energy, and the Magician. With Bob. Sean Astin. I love Sean Astin personally. Fucking love him. Alright, 10 of Scoops. We've got Steve Harrington with the 10 of Scoops. According to Robin's whiteboard tallies, you are officially in your you rule territory. This card finds you in a place of security and advises you to stay there. Think of it this way. You know your favorite ice cream flavor, and now isn't the time to experiment with something else just because it might be better. Stick to what you know, enjoy traditions and routines as well as the rewards that come from being settled. There will be plenty of opportunities to sample what life has to offer. And maybe that's talking to the ego. You don't have to like adopt things like behaviors, or be wary of peer pressure. But like not just necessarily peer pressure, like we talked about cults. So like beware of like group think. Separate yourself from that. You know what you like, you know what you believe. Don't allow yourself to be caught up with shit you know is bullshit, okay? We have the 4, oh, that's the 6. One more page this way. Alright. We have the 4 of scoops, or 4 of earth energy. Okay. I'm thinking about the Light Seers Tarot. I'm trying to convert this over into the other deck. I can't find the photo of the Light Seers 4 of earth. Oh, I think it's... Oh, okay. It's a woman holding on to her change purse. Okay. So it could be like a little bit of a scarcity mindset. Okay. Sure, a premium shopping center featuring many trendy shopping facilities sounds great. But is that really where you want to spend your summer? The 4 of Scoops asks you to assess your relationships with wealth. Are you overindulging in Kaufman shoes, or are you restricting yourself from what you want because you fear what will happen if you spend any money? If this resonates with you, you are likely being called to heal those fears and trust that you can take care of yourself. Alright? I'm in that space because I'm waiting on taxes. And I'm like, are we going to get taxes? Because I saw that Trump just tried to sue the IRS for like $10 billion. I was like, oh, you're just trying to get all of our fucking money, bro. Anyway, until that money hits my account, I'm going to be... So, yeah, 4 of Pentacles. So maybe we all just need to chill out, right? Relax. Okay. Shit sucks. Let's keep it real. Okay. 10 of Strands, which is fire energy, so wands. 10 of Wands is about, like, walking away from burdens. Wait. Yeah. You maybe feel constricted by the people and things you love, but don't let it overwhelm you. Even friends as close as the party need to take breaks from each other. The 10 of Strands symbolizes feeling overburdened, often asking yourself to examine how much you are taking on. Stay strong, this is temporary, and you will regain your balance soon. So again, if you're putting on an ego or a front, and, people are assigning you to certain roles or responsibilities because of that front, maybe try to drop that and be like, I actually fucking don't want to do this, right? Be true to you, my friends. I love this part. They're at the dance. Oh, I just love it. What is this? 9 of dice. I love it when Elle walks in and Mike sees her. It's so cute. And I wish I would have ever... I hope one day I get love like that. Fuck. I'm totally team Mike and Elle. You will find me. Alright, the 9 of dice. You may find yourself too troubled to focus on the path you're on. Dice is air signs. Anxiety ruminating on your time in another dimension and overwhelming emotions are pulling you inward, asking you to skip a few turns and catch up later. As much as you may want to be alone when you are confronted by the 9 of dice, it's a reminder to ask for support from your team. Ooh. Okay. We have the Magician. Dustin's my favorite. Speaking of Dustin, Niall's missing his 4 teeth because we had to have them removed when he was little, a couple years ago. And he has a wiggly bottom tooth. And I've always been really creeped out by teeth. And I was like, oh my god, as a mom, how am I going to do that? How am I going to be like, oh yeah, you have a missing tooth? And no, we're not going to do the tooth fairy. But I'll make him feel special other ways. So he came in and it's wiggly, but it's not like super wiggly, but it's starting to wiggle. Oh, I'm so excited for him. Anyway, the magician. Oh, Dustin reminds me of Niall. Okay. Bob Newby's power is gentle and loving, perfectly balanced yet understated, with a strong sense of ethics that guides him to care for others. With this kind of foundation, it is easy to manifest whatever it is you want, which is why the magician has appeared in your reading. You have everything you need to achieve your goals, and now it's just a matter of getting down to business. So that's not only the things around you, but also the things you have within you when you drop the show, right? When you drop the facade, when you integrate your ego. Again, your ego is ultimately, when you get to a space, your ego it's really, when people are healed enough, like when I'm around people with big egos, I think it's obvious to me what's happening, but I'm a very healed person. And so I can tell when people are fronting, but I don't know if everyone can. But I think you should know that, in case you don't think that people can tell. People can tell when you're working from a space of your ego. Not everybody, but we're out here. People can tell. And you never really know who you're, coming across that can tell. So the best bet is to use your free will to heal yourself, and get to a space of feeling whole and adequate and authentic within yourself, okay? And that takes acknowledging your shadow. Your shadow is your best friend. Think of Peter Pan. It follows you everywhere, and it will continue to do so until you address it. And then you can walk side by side instead of having like a pesky little thing following you around. I always make time for family and friends. Chosen family is a part of that. Success and positive results are normal for me. Let's get a couple more. Give me something good. Breathe. Today's affirmation was about breathing. What was it? Take a deep breath. I take a deep breath and allow myself to relax. My whole body calms down. So do that. I only attract positive people because I am a positive person. So if you're... Oh, here comes my favorite part. I do work I love, and I am well paid for it. Maybe you're switching into a more creative career realm area. They're so cute. Because remember the hands? We kind of touched on that. I'm taking massive action to create change in my life. I focus on making the most of the time I have. My world is what I choose it to be. Have a good one.